All right. Hey, welcome. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever looked at those extraordinary achievers that you admire, the ones that are making headlines, building empires, and breaking records, and thought, oh, I could never do that. This could never be me. Hey, I get it. Because from the outside, their success seems almost mythical, unreachable, like they're playing an entirely different game. And that is exactly why I want to share the exceptional story that I have for you here today. I'm going to reach into my private training vault, the training that is usually only reserved for the high performing CEOs and extreme high achievers that I advise. And I'm going to share it with you, something that has already transformed the lives of thousands within our community of extreme high achievers. Now, this story, it isn't about some glitzy celebrity or some athletic phenom or Silicon Valley prodigy. There is someone featured in our greatness playbook who sits right along with the world's biggest impact makers, and for a good reason. Mark Sparks has become one of my very best friends on the planet, and he has achieved the truly extraordinary. And if you stay with me for the next 45 minutes, you will get the formula for how you can too. Hear me now. I don't say this lightly. This short time together could change the trajectory of your life. It already has for thousands of extreme success seekers before you. So stay locked in, pay close attention, take good notes, because at the end, we're going to come back together. And I have an important update for you, one that you're not going to want to miss. And I'm going to let you in on an opportunity, one that is only available right here, right now, if you make it to the end and being part of this special session. So if you click away, just know that the opportunity will be lost forever. All right, let's get started.
Hello and welcome to this private engagement. So you were invited here because you are an exception. You're an exception because you possess that intangible and elusive characteristic called drive. Not just any drive, an obsessive, unstoppable, all-consuming drive. That's that white-hot raging fire inside. The persistent desire to do more, be more, and experience more than most anyone around you ever will. An unapologetic desire to be great. The striving to live a great life and contribute greatly. Am I right? You feel this, don't you? I honor that, and I respect you. In fact, you and I are very much alike. This meeting that we're having here right now can be a life-changing moment for you if you choose to pay attention. Today, we're going to unlock your inner badass. I'm going to give you the framework that fits the key that will unlock your true potential. No bull here. Now, it will be up to you whether you use that key to unlock the door, but today, at least you will know how. And of course, this short time that we're going to have together here, it's not going to make you great. You see, greatness is not some secret to discover. Greatness is a pursuit. It's a journey. However, during this short time, I can at least point you in the right direction and show you how to get further guidance when we're done, if you want it. So by your attendance to this special broadcast, for those who desire to be great, I will open up the door for you to join me in my private success training group and program called Insane Productivity. Membership is not open to the public. It will just be for you right here, right now, if you want it. The choice to accept or refuse will be yours. Oh, and if you are an Insane alumni, you're going to want to stick around here as well. What we will cover today will help reinforce and deepen your mastery of the strategies and methods which you already know and which are essential to your continued journey towards greatness. So here's what we will cover today. You see this framework here? I will take you through all the essential components that you need to have in alignment to fit that key that will unlock your inner badass. No matter how you feel about your past or even your current success, you need to know upfront there is a badass inside of you, an incredible hulk of superhuman capability and strength. You are stronger and more capable than you know or might even imagine right now. If you've ever wondered, how do seemingly ordinary people end up doing the extraordinary? People like Oprah Winfrey or Walt Disney, Picasso, Eleanor Roosevelt, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, John Lennon, Martin Luther King, Richard Branson, or whomever. Here's the thing. If you know anything about them personally, they were or are very ordinary people. They are regular old people just like you, maybe even from backgrounds more poor or more dysfunctional than yours. And they struggle with the same fears and insecurities that you might have as well. So how did they do it? Well, they found the key. And with that key, they unlocked the incredible Hulk of their superpower inside. And that is how these ordinary humans went on to do the extraordinary. And what I am telling you is, you can too. And that is what we're going to do right here today. Today, I will show you how to unlock your Incredible Hulk superpower inside. What? What's that? You're saying no? Not you? I'm saying yes, you, man. Let me prove it to you. I want to tell you about a really good friend of mine. I would go as far as to say is that he's probably one of my life's very best friends. His name is Mark, and Mark was born in Rockwell, Texas. Never heard of it? Most people haven't. Mark was the baby of 5 children in his family. There were only 4 years between all 5 kids. Just think about that. That's a whole lot of baby in diapers at the same time. In fact, as the baby, Mark was often forgot about in the mass chaos that was their household. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and they were a happy family until they weren't. When Mark was 8, Dad, who was a traveling salesman selling furniture, had an affair with his secretary, and a few weeks later, he ran off with her for good, leaving Mark's mom broke and saddled with 5 children who were still all under the age of 12. His mom, as you can imagine, was devastated. Her husband of 14 years and the father of her 5 children just picked up and left her and their once happy family for his secretary. How cliche and how devastating and soul-crushing for her. She was wrecked, but did everything she could to hide the gut-wrenching pain that she was in from her children. She had to get a job, of course, and back then, secretary jobs were mostly what would be available to her, and she didn't even know how to type. As she struggled through it, there wasn't enough money even to pay the electric bill. Mark recalls how the electric kept being turned off in their home. His mom did everything to try to make an adventure out of it, he said, declaring excitedly to the family that they were going to be camping inside their house for a couple of weeks. She'd set bed sheets over chairs to make tents to sleep under, and at night they'd all huddle in the dark family room around a single candle because, well, that's all they could do. She did everything she could to shield and distract her children from the lack of food and the dire economic situation that they were in. Things got so dire for her that she confessed to a friend that she contemplated putting herself and all 5 kids in a car and just driving off a cliff. That's how helpless and hopeless things got for her. Now, like all of us, but particularly being the youngest of 5, Mark starved for attention, and he got it by being the class clown. And I must admit, he is a funny dude. But Mrs. Patterson, his 2nd grade teacher, well, she did not find him amusing at all, to the point where she would physically hit him in class, in front of his classmates, while telling him that he was, quote unquote, good for nothing and would never amount to anything. This seemed to have emboldened the schoolyard bully, Steve Evans. Steve was 4 to 5 years older than Mark. After school, Steve would sit in the swing set, knowing that Mark had to pass right by to walk home. Mark admitted that most days he'd walk in the opposite direction just to avoid Steve, then do a wide loop, taking an extra hour or 2 to get home. But some days, Steve caught Mark, and he bullied him, mentally and physically. This went on for 2 years until his older brother Jimmy got word of it, and the Steve Evans problem was over that day. The next day, Steve brought his older brother to the scene, and Jimmy took care of him too. This brings us to trying to find the source code of greatness. How do you find your indomitable drive? Where does it come from, and why do some have it and others not? Understand this. We all have the seeds of greatness inside. You do. We all do. These are the gifts that have been endowed by your Creator. They are part of our inalienable rights. You see, the Constitution of the United States declares that all men, as in the species, not gender, are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And for the achiever, that pursuit of happiness is the pursuit of greatness. And that greatness has been endowed by your Creator. And like in the Constitution, the Founding Fathers did not say you have the right to happiness. No, you only have the right to pursue it. Happiness is not a right, it's an opportunity, one that has to be earned and worked for. The same is true for greatness. While you have been endowed with the seeds of greatness, it is up to you to sow them, to cultivate, to nurture, to water, and feed those seeds inside, to reap the harvest and realize your seeds of greatness inside. So why do most people not pursue their greatness? Well, your Creator also gave you free will, which means you have the freedom to pursue or reject this gift. And unfortunately, most reject it, which I must imagine is disappointing to your Creator. And maybe they don't reject it outright, but they do so by default, by neglect and the failure to act. Why? What happened? Why do most just give up or settle for less than greatness? Here's why I think. For most people, life's adversities are wounding. Instead of drawing strength from difficulty, they're injured by them and they become debilitated. So now they just choose to avoid all situations where they risk those feelings any further. Instead, they seek avoidance, escapism, and retreat to some form of safety and comfort. All three of Mark's brothers became raging alcoholics and really never ascended much beyond their beginnings. The eldest became so destitute, penniless, that at the age of 55, he had to move back in with his 75-year-old mother. And he's still living with her in her home to this day, nearly a decade later. But Mark, from the same family, from the same DNA, growing up subjected to the same circumstance, chose to respond differently. It was when he was witnessing his saint of a mother, as he calls her, try to make light of her agonizing stress, not being able to pay the basic utility bills that he vowed to himself. Lack of money would never cause him that kind of terrorizing pain. It was when Mark's teacher said that he was good for nothing and would never amount to anything when his superpower got triggered. Don't ever tell Mark he can't do something. Mark is tenacious, and I mean crazy tenacious, like a dog with a bone, he says. Mrs. Patterson was the spark that lit up that tenacious and irrepressible fight and fury inside. And Steve Evans? Well, Steve, he really done it. Steve is the one that awoke the beast, the incredible Hulk inside. You see, we all walk around looking like David Banner, frail, weak, insecure, and unsure of ourselves. But inside, inside is the incredible Hulk. You have superhuman strength inside. You just need to know how to awaken it. And sometimes it's someone outside of you that pokes that sleeping giant inside. That's what Steve did. The Steve Evans experience awoke the Luferigno inside. Mark promised himself that no one would ever have power over him again. And no one would ever need to fight his battles for him ever again. This is what, in part, spurned Mark's fierce competitiveness. Here's what you need to know about Mark. You do not want to compete with Mark. And if you do, you're in for the fight of your life because he'll do whatever it takes. He will outlearn you, outthink you, outwork you. When you're relaxing, he's thinking. When you're eating, he's thinking. When you're sleeping, he's thinking. He'll find a way to outsmart you. This C+ high school graduate will find a way every time to win. Steve did that. As Mark said when I talked to him about it, and I quote, "Boy, I wish I could meet that sucker today," although he did not use the word sucker. So think about it. What lit your fire? What did you witness growing up that has you say, never again? And who kicked the sleeping giant inside of you? Who was your Mrs. Patterson or Steve Evans? You remember how mad David Banner would get, which evoked the incredible Hulk inside him? That's how you got to get, man. Not wounded, not injured, mad. So the first step here is to make a different choice, choosing a different perspective, to see and understand your adversities as your advantage, as strength that gave you a growth advantage, that awakened the slumbering incredible Hulk of your superpowers to action. Your adversities are not wounds that you need to heal from. I'll tell you the rest of the story on what Mark did with his raging fire inside here in a second. It's a hell of a story. But first, let's unlock your Incredible Hulk inside. Are you ready? Grab your worksheet. I'm going to give you the combination right now. Okay, at the top of the keyhole is what life is all about, the reason why you are here. What you have been brought to this spinning orb, traveling around the sun at 16,000 miles an hour, to do. This is the main aim of your heroic journey. It is your purpose, the mission to complete, and the goals needed to achieve said mission. You want the answer to life's greatest question: why are you here? This is it. To fulfill your purpose, to achieve your mission. And when you step up to that responsibility, when you answer the call to your heroic journey, that is when we are required to reach deep down inside, to use that drive, to access those superpowers inside, to strive and to pursue your greatness in order that you may achieve your mission and fulfill your purpose. That is what we are here for. We are not here to swipe through Instagram, take endless selfies, or binge watch Netflix. We're also not striving to play more golf or log more time on the beach or poolside. As my mentor Jim Rohn put it, the purpose of this grand adventure is productivity, to see what all we can do with all we have been given. There it is. In other words, to pursue your greatness. Now, I can almost hear you saying through the screen, but Darren, that's my problem. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my mission is, and that's what I'm frustrated about. Hey, I get it. I know how you feel. I felt that way for a significant part of my life as well. But all I can tell you is when I found my true purpose and devised a mission around it, set goals to achieve it, and did all the rest of what I will outline for you here in just a minute, I skyrocketed every major metric in my life over a 3-year period of time. But this isn't about me. It's about you. I only tell you that because I want the same results for you as happened for me and the many others now that I have taught this system to, which is why I am grateful to talk to you now, to offer a hand to show you how you can too. The tools for this discovery are inside Insane Productivity. This is the exact system I used to discover my own purpose, my mission, and it's done the same for over 20,000 alumni who have gained access to the system. The answer to your purpose and to your mission is inside as well. So in the center of the key are your core values. You see, people talk a lot about core values, but I find most people are not really clear about them, what they really need to be to achieve your mission, and the critical role that they can and should play in guiding your life. You see, core values are not pretty sounding words that you print on a business card or paint on your office wall to make yourself feel good. No, these are pillars of your character, the central guiding system for all your choices, all your behavior, and all your actions. They should make the decision of every challenge that you're faced with and every shiny object that you're presented with fast, easy, and stress-free. So, do your core values do that? For instance, Mark's core values are integrity, tenacity, and faith. By Mark's definitions, integrity is always doing the right thing no matter what the cost. Tenacity, never ever give up. The win is just over the hill. And faith, which is not only religious, but faith in himself, faith in his team, faith to defeat every inevitable obstacle that jumps in along the way towards their goals. Faith to act like David when Goliath appears, he says. So like all of us, Mark is presented with lots of opportunities all the time, and many of these opportunities would make him a lot of money. But if they do not contribute to his core values, then he will not do it. He will not allow himself to be distracted and derailed from his laser-focused path of success in his current endeavors. Period. The end, no matter how tempting, how potentially profitable, and how sexy or alluring the opportunity might be. How can he be so doggedly disciplined in these choices? Because he got punched in the mouth several times. There were times in the past when he said yes to those opportunities, and it cost him in so many ways. Even after all of what Mark's father did to his family, when Mark graduated high school, he joined his father in the furniture business. After working together for many years, Mark wanted to expand the business, but his father did not, so he broke away on his own, but still in the furniture business. Mark went into wholesale, then retail stores, then manufacturing, then commercial interiors, then eventually commercial construction. By age 29, Mark had become a full-fledged millionaire, back when that was really something. To celebrate this monumental achievement, something no member of his family could have even dared to have ever achieved, he rented a limo and he picked his wife. Oh, by the way, Mark got married at the age of 17. Yeah, 17. That was the kind of thing that you did back where he was from. So Mark pulls up to their house in a big stretch limousine to take his wife out to celebrate. Once they're both in the limo, he gives her a gold watch and declares to her proudly, "I did it," which is really an incredible feat, particularly considering where he started from. But within less than a year of that limo ride, he lost it all. And by then, he also had a 1-year baby girl, Lauren. Mark recalls being so broke that in order to buy milk for his baby girl, he had to go to a gas station so he could use his Texaco gas card to charge it. Why? This is what I've been trying to tell you, impress upon you, and help you through. So stick with me here. What he was doing was not what he was meant to do. It was out of alignment with his true purpose, his mission, and his core values. While he succeeded at it for a time, there was something more. There was something different. There was something more authentic to him, not his father, that would give him the full use and leverage of his unique skills, talents, and superpowers. The right core values will not only guide you, they will define you. They will shape you into who you become, and ultimately the life that you will lead. Identifying and selecting your core values is not as easy and straightforward as it might sound. And they have to be strategically in alignment with who you are authentically and the purpose that you're here to fulfill. It's very likely that the core values you need to have to achieve your mission and your purpose are different than you think your core values are now. I don't know for sure, but I will help you discover the right ones inside Insane Productivity. And once discovered, you will see, understand, and strut through life like never before. Okay. At the foundation of your key are your vital actions. This is where we spend a tremendous amount of time inside Insane Productivity training you up. In this section is where you will discover the radical new way to work, the way of the super achievers. You'll learn how to multiply your productive output and scale your self-mastery like no other training program has ever had the ability to offer. That is, if you're interested. Are you? Hey, look, let's be candid. Plenty of people desire to be great. The world is full of dreamers. Facebook, Instagram, and the like are clogged with dreamers beating their chest, talking about it, posting about it, but not taking action on it themselves. Hey, even the Bible isn't shy about this point. As you probably know, there are 66 books inside the Bible, but one book makes up more than 27% of the entire New Testament. Do you know what that one book is? Do you give up? It's the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles. Why such an emphasis on this one book? I think to make a point. That without action, there is no religion. There is no movement. There is no church. There is no mission achieve. To make the rest of the good book possible, it required the book of Acts to achieve the mission. So to achieve your mission, you can't just desire it, pray about it, and hope for it. You have to act. But mind you, not just any act, the right acts. There's another thing that our current social meme has wrong. There are plenty of people who espouse hard work and plenty of people who are doing what they think is hustling around the clock, but they are working on the wrong things, the wrong way, and getting nowhere without realizing it. It's like a guy who jumps on a rocking horse, and he can go like mad, right? Going to meetings, responding to every email and text and phone call, populating his social media channels, keeping up with every feed and tweet, going crazy, stressed out, overwhelmed in the process, and still get nowhere. And let's not forget, look quite ridiculous in the process. And that is how most people are actually living these days. Knowing precisely what your vital actions are and learning how to orient your daily, weekly, monthly methodologies around them makes the difference between all the good, hardworking people in the world and those who end up becoming wealthy, making a big impact on the world and realizing their greatness, all in the same 24/7, 365 matrix of time and space. Are you following me here? What I'm talking about right here is the difference. So, At the base of the key are your vital actions, broken down into 3 sections. At the base are your vital functions. This ultimately is where you find your superpower, the unique functions that you're here to contribute, the things that you do to make it rain, your highest impact contributions to the success of your endeavors. The next are your vital priorities. These are the projects, tasks, and priorities to be done in alignment with your vital function superpowers. Picking the right vital priorities and being able to stick with them is why some people get 3x, 10x, 50x, and 100x more achieved than everyone else around them in the same 24/7, 365 matrix of time and space. This is how a kid raised poor in the projects of Brooklyn can rise to be one of the most influential and wealthy business leaders of our generation. Howard Schultz of Starbucks. This is how a lower middle class high school dropout diagnosed with dyslexia and ADD can rise to become one of the wealthiest and influential leaders of our time as well, known as Sir Richard Branson. This is also how our friend Mark did it. That's him next to his saint of a mother and his brothers in 1975. The baby of 5 from a financially destitute, broken home where his major male model, his father, abandoned his family to run off with his secretary, bullied in school and told that he would never amount to anything by the authority who's supposed to know, his teacher. While all his brothers from the same upbringing retreated into alcoholism, what exactly did he do? Well, hang on here and I will tell you the rest of the story in a second, because now I'm going to give you the keys on how he did it. So, above your vital priorities are your key behaviors and habits. These are the daily, hourly, and moment-by-moment actions that need to be performed to achieve your vital priorities within your vital functions. This is where the rubber meets the road and where all the struggle exists, the minute-by-minute pull of distractions, ceaseless interruptions, and seductive temptations. This is the front lines of the fight to stay focused, to remain consistent over a long period of time until you reach your audacious goals and achieve your mission. And right here is where I can give you a massive advantage over all your competitors, all your peers, and the behavior of your former self. Learning how to set up a high-performance environment, automated processes, and systematic daily methods of operation that prevent distraction and keep you in deep focus. Once I show you how to do that, that is when we will supercharge your productive output. So much so that it will shock and stagger those around you. I can give that to you. And you don't need to go through the 25 years that I've taken to assemble it all, pieced together from the best in the world. You could just skip all that and just get the end result. How does that sound? You could say that I've already done all the studying, completed the homework, practiced, tested, tried, and tested it all, and then I took the final exam. I aced it, and now I'm offering to just give you the answers to the test. It's the ultimate shortcut and one that will give you a massive success advantage over everyone else. Now, let's finish the framework. Your key won't fit without what's on the left and the right of the keyhole. On the left are your vital metrics. We all know that what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. Inside Insane Productivity, I walk you through the high-performance dashboards that I use to monitor and track every vital metric in my personal life and my business enterprises. If you read my book, The Compound Effect, then you know how essential tracking is to the advancement of your progress, your growth, and your performance. Here is where I finally reveal how I actually do it. For most everyone else, this could become very complicated. It's overwhelming and can be a laborious process. I've tried and tested hundreds of methods. I can show you how to make it simple and easy, but profound in how it actually propels your success. This system alone, and then the training about how to set it up uniquely to your mission, goals, and vital functions, is worth the membership fee into Insane Productivity all by itself. This is where what will make being insanely productive sane for you. Some call it balance. I simply call it sanity, calm peace of mind. And the last piece to activate the tumbler that makes the key work so that you can unlock your inner badass is on the right side of the keyhole, your vital improvements. I'll show you how to become crystal clear where your vital improvements need to be to become stronger, faster, wiser, and more skilled to successfully complete your journey and achieve your mission. Together, we will identify 2 to 3 core areas to focus on your personal growth and development. For those areas most important to what matters most to you, to your family, to your team, to your clients, and of course, to your mission. And that is the framework that fits the key needed to unlock your greatness. Ta-da! Hey, I never said the pursuit of your greatness was going to be easy. It is not. That is why so few ever realize theirs. But what I can tell you is it will be a lot more simple once you know how to set the framework up for you and how to identify and align everything that I've talked about here to your purpose and your desired life and lifestyle. Once you do, you can finally live the life that you were meant to live. For everyone else, trying to find success is like walking into a dark cave. It's dark. They can't see 2 inches in front of them. They don't know which direction to go. They just have to kind of feel their way around, bumping into walls, stepping into holes and ruts, and the constant fear that there's something lurking nearby and death or failure is imminent. What insane productivity simply does is it turns the light on in the cave. And once you can see clearly, you know exactly where to go, where to step, and where not to. With the light on, you can walk expeditiously through the cave without anxiety or fear, seeing exactly where to go all along the way. While everyone else around you is still shuffling and trying to feel their way around in the dark, you'll strut confidently, assuredly, and expeditiously right through to your intended destination. That is the power of having this framework filled out correctly and uniquely to you. Clarity is power, and that is the power you will have in life once you complete the program. Just like it worked for Mark. Here is the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. Mark started another company from his back bedroom. That's where it had to begin. That he grew to nearly $1 billion. And that brought him to Wall Street to ring the bell when it went public. And no joke, Mark since has built 50 plus other companies from scratch to acquisition. Some were sold in the 9-figure range. Now, if you do the math, that's, well, massive. And as the truism goes, you can judge a man by the woman who is willing to put up with him and still love him. So by that standard, Mark is absolutely one of the most successful men alive. As his wife, Jane, now together for 29 years, is one of the most amazing souls traversing the planet today. That's no joke. Jane is one of the best humans among us, for sure. Together, not only have they built a spectacular lifestyle, one that no one from either of their towns that they grew up in even had the capacity to imagine, but their most enviable achievements are the contributions that they've made to others. They have turned the hard work of their success into significance and making a life-changing difference to those in the most need. They were the driving force behind the not-for-profit Samaritan Inn that provides shelter, care, and transformation assistance for the homeless and for those that are trying to recover from extreme poverty, a kind of place Mark's family almost needed themselves. They additionally funded the 20-unit Gateway Transitional Housing Apartment Complex that's across the street from the inn, and 14 additional Habitat for Humanity homes. Oh yeah, and Mark bought his saint of a mother a home. Yes, that is the same home that his older brother moved into for free. And he's done, with Jane, so much more. It is because of Mark's obsessive drive and the striving for better that now his success can provide a hand up for thousands of people and their families. This is Mark, as we celebrated his 60th birthday. He looks 40 because he absolutely loves what he does. He lives in complete alignment with his life's purpose, mission, and superpowers.
All right, welcome back. So you might ask, where is Mark now? Great question. I'll tell you. You know, out of all the success stories that I've shared over the years, and I have shared thousands through my television profiles and through the pages of Success Magazine, Mark's journey has struck a deeper chord with our community than most any other. Why is that, you might think? Well, I think it's because so many people see themselves in Mark, an ordinary C+ student who became extraordinary as a super achiever. They recognize that same inner fire, that drive, that hunger for something more. But here's the key difference. The difference between Mark and all the other C+ students with that burning desire for more, Mark figured out how to harness his drive. He didn't just push harder. He didn't just work more. No, Mark found and leveraged a system, one that transformed his raw drive into unstoppable momentum. He turned adversity into acceleration. He turned struggle into success. And the best part, because it was a system, it could be replicated over and over again. Mark's success wasn't a one-time fluke. It is a repeatable formula that he put into 50 companies that he started and built, into a multitude of different industries, year after year. And since it's been a while since I first shared Mark's story, I thought you might like an update. I recently sat down with Mark for a private interview inside our Hardy Club community to get him to tell the community directly some of his best nuggets pulled right from his trusty playbook. And let me tell you, he delivered.
We internally build outrageous, outlandish goals for ourselves. I mean, a scenario whereby somebody might say, well, next month I plan to accomplish this. Our theory is, well, why don't you do that by Friday at 2:00? And it inevitably gets done every single time. I mean, 99 times out of 100, it gets done. We set those goals quick and hard and fast. Life happens between now and that month, and there's just no reason not to get it done today. I mean, what we get done in a year is like what most people get done in 7-8 years. And back to the hospitals, we have built, opened, under construction, under development, 18 $24 million hospitals in 6 years.
Mark is still winning to this day, and not just winning a little, he's winning bigly. In just the past few years, he has built 17 state-of-the-art physical rehabilitation centers across the country. Not one, not a few, I'm talking 17. And these are $30 million plus facilities each. These aren't just medical facilities. They are things of design, beauty. They are centers of excellence, where thousands of people have recovered faster, regained their strength, and returned to the lives that they love. But here's what's really powerful. Mark isn't just driven. He's systemized. That means he's not grinding out longer hours than everybody else. No, he's not making up in brute force for the volume of productive output that he needs to deliver. No, he's not even stressed or overwhelmed by it all. I mean, at all. He still wakes up with his tail wagging every morning, happy, stress-free, and lighthearted, as a guy who's, been retired for 10 years. How is that possible, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. And this is what can be a game and life-changing aspect for you too. You see, Mark is leveraging the same high-performance framework that I teach inside of Insane Productivity, the same system that allows elite achievers to multiply their output on the same effort, amplify their impact on the same strategies, and scale their success easily. And hear me now, without scaling their stress. You see, the word system is actually an acronym that stands for Save Yourself Sanity, Time, Energy, and Money. It's the system that separates the best from the rest, not brute force. So now, what about you? Are you just working harder? Are you trying to make up in brute force what you lack in skills and systems? Or are you finally ready to work smarter, faster, and with more control than ever before? Because, and let me be blunt with you here, drive is not enough. Wanting to is not enough. Hard work, no matter how hard you work, is not enough. You need a system, one that scales to harness, guide, and direct that drive. And then you achieve that elusive and magical thing called momentum. And momentum achieved and maintained compounds into massive success. So here's the choice. Right now, you have two choices. Option one, keep doing what you've been doing. Keep getting the same results that you're getting. Keep grinding. Keep working harder. Keep trying to out-effort the competition while still feeling like you're always one step behind. And in this fast-moving world, you're starting to fall behind. Or option number two, step up. Take control. Work differently. Because that is the real secret of high achievers. Although it may seem like it when you're looking from the outside, they are not superhuman, not by any stretch of the imagination. And they are not working more hours than everybody else. In fact, often far less. But rather, they are working radically different. Hear me now. This is not about doing more. It's about achieving more with less stress, less wasted effort, and less time. I have distilled everything that I've learned from investigating, presenting, and profiling, and working right alongside today's most extraordinary achievers. And I've broken it down into a proven system, a system that is replicatable, a system that works for anyone in any endeavor at any stage of growth and success. It works for anyone willing to apply it. It is called Insane Productivity, and it is the ultimate system for self-mastery in the modern era. 35,000 extreme high-achieving alumni is proof that it works, and it will work for you. Now, for years, CEOs and other elite performers paid me more than $100,000 a year for only 30 minutes a month for this kind of insider mastery level productivity training. That's right, 100 grand. Is it worth $100,000 if you now become an elite level performer? If it helps you produce many more hundreds of thousands of dollars and for many millions more? Of course, it makes it free. But here's the thing. I've made it now so that this level of training is not just available to the elite few. It is now packaged into a complete training and development system that can be delivered at scale, which means you don't have to pay $100,000. That's good news, right? You don't even have to pay half that, $50,000. You don't even have to pay half of that, $25,000. Now, instead of only 30 minutes a month, you get over 20 hours of direct training and mentorship. That is more than 3 times the access those CEOs and elite achievers receive for 100 grand. And get this should be exciting to you. Not 100,000, but $39.95. That's the price tens of thousands have already paid for this training. But hang on, because I'm going to make it so you don't even pay the $4,000. Because you're here with me right now, I want to do something special for you. And I want to tell you why I'm doing this. You see, I believe we're entering a golden era of opportunity. This is the greatest time of opportunity in all of human history. The actions that we take now will have rippling and profound implications on generations of your family to come. So I'm on a mission to equip 100,000 more extreme high achievers to be a positive and productive force in this new day. We need positive and productive builders and creators and innovators. And this system teaches you that mindset, and it turns that internal fire and drive into a productive force for good. And that's what we need in this world. And so that is my mission. So here's the deal that I have for you. I'm going to pay half your enrollment. Half. Yes, I'm putting up $1,500. You only need to put up the other half. You have to meet me halfway. You can't pay nothing. We all know you only pay attention to what you pay for. And 80% of the personal transformation happens when you decide to act, when you decide to step up, when you decide to finally believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself. Without that investment, it's all just noise and bluster. You see, Mark invested in himself. That's how I met him. And look how it worked out. The question now is, will you? Here's one last thing that I'm going to do for you, okay? It doesn't matter where you are now financially. What I need to know is, do you have that drive? The internal fire to learn, to grow, and to become a powerfully productive force in our society? Because that's what I'm looking for. If the answer to that is hell yes, then I don't want your current financial situation to stop you. So I am willing to carry the entire financing so that you can get started for as little as, and get this, $250. That's right. Just $250 monthly for 6 months. No financing charge to it whatsoever. And add to that, you also get a 0 condition success guarantee from me. I call it double your time guarantee. If you don't reclaim at least 10 hours of wasted time every week and feel a noticeable boost in your productivity by week 4 of the 12-week training program, I'll give you a full and complete refund. No questions asked, no problem at all within that 30 days. See, this makes it an absolute no-brainer for you, making it so you have absolutely nothing to risk, nothing to lose, and a lifetime of freedom and significant success to gain. If that doesn't make the choice easy and obvious for you, then this definitely is not for you. If you have to think about it, if you're wringing your hands about it, then maybe you don't have the drive that we've been talking about. And look, that's okay. Really, this is not for everybody. We are most certainly looking for those choosing to be the exception and to rise to exceptional levels of success and productivity. And we'll take the action to get there. I almost forgot to mention another gift that I am giving you is, and this is because one of the most important factors to anybody's success and the sustainability of that success are the associations that they have around them. And I know that it is really difficult to find, connect with, and continually interact with other highly successful and deeply committed extreme achievers. So I want to make that automatic for you. Make it happen in an instance. I can because of my background and profile and the work that I have done over the last 30 years. I've already collected them into what is called the most valuable country club in the world. It is called the Hardy Club, where thousands of extreme achievers connect. They share tips, ideas, and strategies that they're using to make more money, to have a bigger impact, and improve the quality of their lives. So as an added gift, if you choose to enroll with this right now, okay, as you're on this, I'm going to gift you a 6-month free membership into the Hardy Club. And I can promise you this will become the most valuable network of associations and high-level connections of your professional life. I will tell you, it's worth the price of enrollment all by itself. And 6 months access is just being included for free as an added gift. Inside the Hardy Club, you'll get access to even more private content that I only share in there. You can find and join accountability groups and surround yourself with people who match your ambition. Inside the Hardy Club is where you will also get access to our proprietary AI tools to help you integrate insane productivity, the Success Vital system, into your unique life and your unique methods of operation. You also get 24/7 access and guidance from our insane Hardy Bot, which is like having me on your desk, accessible to answer your every question at any time. It really is incredible. Just access to the AI tools that we have designed and trained is worth the price of admission many times over. So look, I hope that you see how sincere and committed I am about our mission. If you are equally sincere and committed to being an extremely productive contributor in your world, in our world, then I want you to join us. And once again, all this is backed by a zero condition, 100% full refund guarantee. But the choice is yours. You can keep working harder, putting in longer hours, increasing your stress while falling further behind and hoping that something changes. Or you can step up and learn how to actually work smarter, leveraging a proven system that multiplies your productivity exponentially and makes success predictable and sustainable. The enrollment button is below. Click it now to join Insane Productivity. Cash in on the $1,500 that I'm contributing to you before it expires. And for those of you leading teams, be sure to add on the Ludicrous Leadership Training. It is how to build systems to lead and drive extremely productive teams. Leading others is an entirely different skill and a system than just leading yourself. And here's a big tip for leaders. You want to build exceptional systems that don't require exceptional people in order to produce exceptional results. The Ludicrous Leadership System is that exceptional system that you can install. If you add it on while you are here, I will also pay half the enrollment fee of that as well. The upgrade is normally $1,000, but you'll only pay $495. I'll pick up the rest, but that is only right now as you being here right now. Okay, it's time for you to take action, and I really hope that you do. Then together, we'll transform your productivity and turn your drive into a legacy of huge positive impact.